today, and now you feel fat today also. You're welcome. And now there's a podcast.
We're live.
All right.
Hello, Brittany Cardwell.
Hey, Kelly.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you for having
exciting.
me. So excited to hang.
Yeah, I know. Recording our hang.
Yeah, I know. On my way here, I was like, we're just hanging out.
I
It's
know.
me and Kelly hanging in her apartment. We always hang in.
Yeah. And like, we were in a group chat. The group chat was popping off right before we started.
Big gossip. And then you're like, do you want a seltzer?
Yeah. Guys, Brittany and I are being artists together.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't, sorry.
Just letting you know, we're doing a pod while you guys gossip about the scene.
Yeah.
We're doing it live. Should we just read the chat?
read the chat, but we'll like obscure names of like the content. Yeah. You know, and
we'll let people guess.
Yeah.
Ooh. Did we talk about this before? Like a Gossip Girl style. We were talking about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like a Gossip Girl style blog, but for the comedy scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
man,
healthy.
It'd be so. Yeah, so toxic.
There's nothing like being in comedy. This doesn't happen to me so much anymore, but I remember being newer in the scene and like coming across a list and like it's just like a list of comics names for whatever indiscretion. And you're just seeing who's on the list.
Wait, coming across a list like on paper? Or
like a Google Doc.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like, what is this? Is this banned comics?
I know. Is this banned? Is this like said a slur?
Yeah.
Is this did something, you know?
Well, there were all those lists
uncouth.
posted on Facebook during the pandemic too.
Yes,
that would be like, these comics are racist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like he has an itch. I have to take him to the vet. He's a mess.
He's squeaking while he does
I
this.
know. He has very sensitive skin. So like
Finny.
that's Finney's plight in life is sensitive skin. He's so cute right now. This is a visual medium.
I love the boy.
Yeah. But yeah, so, you know. But here we are. We're doing it.
Here we are. All right, he's moving over.
There we go. He's had enough. And hopefully there won't directly to the litter box. Get out of there, Finnegan. Like, why would he think that would be an okay thing to do?
He uses the litter box?
No.
Oh.
But he must want attention or something because he ran right over there.
I think he felt awkward. Like, you know when you're a kid in school and you feel awkward and you get up and you're like, I'm going to leave because it feels awkward. And then you do something even more awkward?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense? That's him going to the litter box.
Yeah, that doesn't even happen to me as a kid. That like happened to me in work today. I go to the office sometimes and like I'll like get up just to like move and then like awkwardly walk into the kitchen area. And then I'm just like, well, no, I'm here and my water bottle's at my desk and I need, my God. It's
I do it
so awkward.
too. I'll get up. This used to happen as a kid and it does happen in the office. Not as badly. Like the percentage is so low compared to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I'd have to go to the bathroom and I would be so afraid to get up and walk across the classroom and have people see me. And then I would start to think I was walking weird. Like I'd be so in my head. And I sometimes at work, I have the same feeling. And I'm like, I'm 38 almost.
Yep.
And I'm getting up and I'm like, does my body look weird to people? Are my arms moving naturally?
I know.
Then I think about that scene from Seinfeld. You know, the one where Elaine's working with this woman?
Yes.
And she doesn't move her arms when she walks?
Yes.
And I think I look like her.
God, I know. And like, then you try to tell yourself like, nobody's noticing me. Like nobody gives a crap what I'm doing or whatever. And then today at work, I was like really locked into what I was doing and I could kind of hear people in my periphery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lower back support. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I could kind of hear people in my periphery. And I heard one of the girls say to another girl in the office, like, I have to stop going up to the snack section because, so-and-so made a comment, like the person that restocks the snacks was like, oh, you like the Chex Mix, like I'll make sure I restock that.
They got pattern recognition for you.
Yes. And she's like, so now I have to like cool it with the Chex Mix. And I was sitting there like laughing to myself thinking like, God, like we're all the same, like we all think the same things like we always want to hope that no one's noticing that we're going to the snack area.
Yeah. And we convince ourselves like we're all worried and over, like we're too self-aware. But then we do the thing to comfort ourselves, like, no one cares, no one notices. The thing my dad would tell me when I was a kid. And then it turns out they do notice.
Oh, they notice.
Yeah.
They notice.
Man. I remember, so I actually told this story before on a different pod. I'll shorten it, but it's related to this, where it's like your parents are always saying no one cares, no one's going to remember when something embarrassing happens to you.
Yeah.
And then they really do. Like this one time in school, I was like very young. It was like journal time, the first thing we do at school.
Uh-huh.
And I had told my parents before school that I was feeling sick, and they didn't believe me for some reason. And so they sent me to school anyway. And I'm in my first part of the class. We're doing this journaling. It's like silent time. And my teacher comes up to me and she's like, oh, are you okay? Like, you know, like she knew I looked unwell.
Yeah.
And she let me call my dad. And I call my dad, and as soon as he answers, I threw up all over the... And this is a phone. It's in the classroom.
Yeah,
it's like by the door.
The one in the
you know?
closet. I remember it well.
So I'm standing there vomiting all over the phone.
Oh.
And every person in class is like quietly writing in their diary. And they all turn and look at me. And I remember my dad picked me up and he's trying to convince me like no one's going to remember that. And then years later, me and my best friend, Sierra, we were like at the lake. And there was this skater boy that we thought was really hot. His name was Randy. And and he like came up to hang out with us. And me and her were both like, oh my God, it's Randy Dyer. It's Randy Dyer, the skater boy.
So exciting.
And he comes up and the first thing he goes is he's like, oh, Brittany Cardwell, you're the girl who threw up on the phone.
Your legacy.
Yeah. It's like 10 years later.
Oh, God. Yeah. How old were you when that happened? Like probably like third grade, fourth grade?
Yeah, I think probably second or third. Maybe.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. And it's just like you want to get through it in the moment. And like as a parent, first off, your parents sent you to school because they probably were like, God damn it, Brittany, I have to go to work.
I know.
Like, you know,
They're like, let a teacher find out she's sick and send her to the nurse.
Exactly.
But instead I threw up all over the phone.
And it was one of those like phones that like have a cord to the wall. So, you know, there's like nooks and crannies of the phone.
Yeah. Some of my vomit is still on that phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A little time capsule.
Hopefully a crime never occurs there because
yeah.
your DNA is in that phone.
Did you do time capsules? Do you remember these?
I do remember doing a time capsule, but like I think it's still in the ground.
Yeah. I would love to dig mine up.
Yeah.
Except I know how boring the stuff in there is.
It's definitely like a Britney Spears like sticker from like, you know,
this sticker is so important.
Yeah. That was like maybe
kids
holographic
need to know about
or
this
something.
sticker.
Yeah. And I always had Nibs candy wrappers because my you know, old people, they love Nibs. So I probably put like a Nibs wrapper in there. And it's probably still in the ground in South Amboy, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Where's your time capsule?
I think it's on the military base where my dad was in the military.
Okay.
So I grew up on a base. And
That's
I'm pretty sure that's where we did it, unless I'm thinking of the school we had right before.
Got it.
But all I put in there were like, that was when I was obsessed with horses. And so my contribution was like these horse cards. They were just like baseball cards, but they were horses. And I had like horse stats on them.
You know, equine stats that everybody cares about.
How many hands?
Every middle schooler loves a horse hand.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's funny. The guest I had on before this was also from a military family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Alicia Hush.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just thought of her right before you said her name because I found out we both lived on the same base.
No way.
Mm-hmm. And our parents may have
crazy.
worked together. I can't remember if we figured that out or not, but they were like working on the base at the same time.
It's such a small world.
Yeah.
That's so freaky.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I promise I didn't put out like a call to comedians that lived on military bases.
Me and Alicia we're just connected.
Yeah, you are.
I was like, oh yeah, now's the time to get back to Kelly about being on the pod. Right after Alicia did. I was like, there's some reason I'm doing it now.
Invisible string. It all leads back to I feel fat today.
Yeah.
So I knew you. I kind of, because whenever you go back, when you say you're going back home, it's to Washington, state, not district.
Yeah.
And so I guess I kind of assumed that you grew up there. But did you travel? Like, did you grow up all over? Being in
I
a
mostly
military
grew
family?
up there. We were pretty lucky. I was born in California. And I was there for 6 years, and then we moved to Washington, and I spent most of the rest of my childhood there. But I mean, we were lucky, but it wasn't really luck. It was like my dad kept being like, "Oh, okay, I'll go to Korea for a year so that my family doesn't have to move."
Right.
So he did that 3 times
Wow.
while I was young.
You had a long distance dad.
Yeah, and it's weird because I don't remember that very well. But sometimes I'll be like, "Oh shit, my mom." I had like just a single mom for
Yeah.
a lot of my childhood.
Yeah,
and he
that's
was in other
crazy.
places too. He was in like Saudi Arabia for like 6 months at a time, and
Whoa.
then I think he went to Korea. Oh no, I said Korea already. Yeah.
Did he send home like cool tchotchkes and snacks?
I think he did. He always brought them with him, and he would bring us like counterfeit items.
Nice.
Like I had a Donna Karen bag that it was fake, but I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, I would think I was the coolest girl ever.
It was like a cute little like girly black backpack, you know?
love it.
I really felt like an adult,
yeah.
even though it's so girly.
It was Donna Karen.
yeah, Donna Karen. Is that how you say it?
Donna Karen.
Donna Karen. I think my mom must have pronounced it Karen.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
as a joke.
Oh, I thought you were saying Karen as if like because it was a faux bag.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I'm like, oh, that's so weird. He was gone so much of my childhood, but in a way I never think about. you know?
Right, because he always came back.
Yeah. Luckily.
Yeah.
Luckily,
yeah.
I had
yeah,
a
luckily.
dad that
There
came
could be a
back.
myriad of reasons why he wouldn't come back. Always did. Could always
Yeah.
rely on that guy.
I remember when like video calls were so new that it was like super expensive to do.
Yeah.
And we eventually got those because he was gone so much. And they just barely would work. It was
Yeah.
really just like a static image of him that would change every few minutes. We could hear his voice and like pretend that he was moving, but he wasn't moving.
It's like, are you in the beyond? Like,
Yeah.
why is this connection so bad?
Yeah. It like never worked.
Good old dad. How long would the stretches be that he'd be, stationed?
Well, the Korea trips were all a year each.
Okay, they were all a year each.
And I think my mom, I remember her going out to visit him like at least once in those trips. Because I remember, oh wait, no, this is when he came home, I guess. I remember he came home. I don't know if it was a visit or if it was the end. I was so young. But I remember that was the first time I saw them kiss like passionately as a kid. And I was like, whoa.
Oh,
They were like
man.
making out in the parking lot.
She missed him.
I was like, Mom.
like, oh man, my parents love each other.
Yeah.
That is so uncomfortable as a kid. Like, I feel like it's damaging to have parents that are not affectionate towards each other, but it's
Yeah.
also like just as bad. Well, not that they were. You mean your mom missed her
No.
husband. But like, it's like if you have like
If that was
parents,
happening all the time, I think that could be damaging.
yes, that
Yeah.
would 100% be damaging.
Because it's like, what the hell? Like, what am I supposed to
yeah.
do?
How am I supposed to navigate this? I'm just trying to get to the fridge. Okay, so you have siblings, right?
I have an older brother and a younger brother.
Same, dude.
Oh, I don't know if I knew that.
We didn't know this about each other.
Wait, has your brother come here during one of our hangs? One
I don't
of them,
think
maybe?
so.
Oh, okay.
He may have. You may have met my younger brother because he's like really into comedy. Like he's
Oh,
a
okay.
comedy fan.
Yeah,
So you may
maybe like a long time ago.
Yeah, probably at some
Yeah.
point, like, on rooftop shows and
Mhm.
stuff, you may have met him. So my younger brother, he's 6 years younger than me, and my older brother is 2 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
My older brother, they're both 3. They're
Oh,
3
okay.
apart. I'm in the middle.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's like truly middle child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at us.
Right in the middle,
It's different
where
being
no one
the
can see you.
Yeah. And like when you're a girl, it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
Like,
I
when-
think I was a very independent kid.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I was just telling this story to someone at work the other day. I don't know if this is true for you. I would love to know if it's true. Maybe it's true for every middle child
Yeah.
on earth. But my mom has like a bunch of photo albums of us and like all of our old schoolwork and stuff like that. And she used to like take diary entries of the kids like when we were born.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny because if you look at it, clearly when my older brother was born, she documented every single event.
Yeah.
Every page of every diary, he had multiple diaries, were entered. Every day she's writing about this kid, and there's like thousands of photos of him. Not really, but there's like a ton.
Yeah, there's a lot, especially for when it's
For
not
back
like
then
iPhones.
when it was filmed. Yeah.
Polaroids.
And then you get to me, and there's like fewer entries in the diary.
Yeah.
Fewer photos. You get to my little brother, there's like nothing at all. It's just so funny.
She really like the wind really came out of her sails.
Yeah.
The more children that, but 9 years later,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, I don't have the time for this. I would say that for me, and my mom, if she was listening to this, would probably say that this isn't true, but I do distinctly remember there being a photo album for my older brother and a photo album dedicated to my younger brother, and no photo album dedicated to me. I was just always like kind of like thrown in, I guess the photo album for Billy was more like all of us because, we were all here. But my mom was just like, there was too much going on when you were born. Like there was like, I think she got like a second wind when like 6 years passed, and then all of a sudden there's a new baby. So it's like exciting again.
Yeah. And maybe, I don't know if they planned it. Maybe she knew it was the last one as well. And she was like, well,
100%
I'm going to want to like have all this stuff.
Yeah. 100% the last one. And like, it's just like you're in a different, you have more capacity to think about like, okay, let me cherish all the photos and stuff. I feel like the art of photo albuming and scrapbooking is maybe not so much scrapbooking, because that in and of itself is like a craft, but I feel like I don't have photo albums.
No.
I have ones from high school.
Yeah.
And I like love looking at those photos now when I go home, but like
I know I'm missing huge chunks of my life. Like I'm never going to look back at my phone photos in the same way.
And I get the memories that pop up on my phone, and I'm like, what was that? And it's like, oh, that was a before photo from 2016 or 2021.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what pops up.
It doesn't feel the same when my phone presents it to me. It feels like a task.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, my phone wants me to look at another thing now. And then I'm like, yeah, I remember that. You showed me that last year. They don't like show you things where I'm like, oh,
I know.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I know.
They always pick what they think would be the most memorable event, because maybe it's like a good picture.
It's what the AI has decided is a good photo, which is creepy. I have a scrapbook that I've been like working on where it has like stuff from when like I had a shore house when I was like younger, and like, little things like that. But it's just all like, it's all just like different things in the photo album. It's not like photos that were taken, because where am I going to print the photo? And I know there's a million ways to do it, but like, who's got the time?
Yeah.
So
you got to move them all.
Yeah. Too much.
It's mostly the printing part and selecting what to print. By the time I went through and selected everything, I'd be like, I don't care about this project anymore.
We're done. We're done with that. No, absolutely. Anyways, so I would love to know, when was the concept of dieting first introduced to you?
Oh, here we go.
Memory or a thought, like a conscious?
Sorry, Kelly, but I don't really feel like sharing any of my dieting or body. Or like, what if I just? No, I'm just kidding.
We can talk about.
What if I just decided on the pod, like, wait, what?
Yeah. Why would you? You know what's really rude
it's
to
all
ask someone about
limits,
that?
Actually,
I know. I always think that when I'm gonna ask someone about their siblings, I'm like, oh, maybe they have like a dead one or something. I'm like, but that would be a great story for the podcast. So tell me about it. And you're a comedian. You're going to dish.
Yeah. And I feel like anyone you invite on is like comfortable with anything. Anyway,
yeah, totally.
For the most part.
Yeah.
But I only said that because of your text where you're like,
oh,
here's the questions just in case.
I know. Sometimes I feel like the hairdresser on TikTok that's like, can I touch you?
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I thought about all your questions last night. And I also wrote a list of things I remember about my eating disorder.
Oh, yes.
Which is under control now. You don't have to worry about it or anything.
Good. Everyone, arms down.
Calm down.
Yeah, at ease.
I mean, there's always, like, in the back of your mind, there's always something. But it's, like, so small now, I feel like. So my mom, when I was probably just starting high school, or maybe the end of middle school, that's when I first started noticing her dieting.
Totally.
And she had started Weight Watchers. And you know, and my mom is a wonderful woman, and she gets very excited about her new projects and new like things and activities and stuff she's trying out. And I actually just realized this. Like, that's probably why she shared it with me, because she was like, Brittany, I'm doing this and I'm excited and I'm like trying to get healthy and lose weight and like feel good about myself, right? So I don't think any of it was like menacing. Like, none of it was meant to be negative, but she shared it with me and then I started doing it. Like, I don't think I needed to lose weight. I was probably like 13 or something, you know?
Yeah.
I was probably tiny.
Right, right.
But she probably thought it'd be fun to do together, and then I did start doing it, and it was not good for me.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Like, I just got so focused on it, and like, you know, then I would mess up my points for the day, and I would just be like devastated. And then I'd be like, what's wrong with you? You piece of shit. Why'd you eat that cupcake? And I'm like 13. So it's like, I shouldn't be I shouldn't be thinking about any of this.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then once you mess up, you're like, well, I messed up, so I'm going to eat 10 cupcakes then.
Which everyone shares that sentiment, myself included. And I don't know why there's that mentality of like, oh, well, I fucked it up, so time to go completely the other way.
It makes it feel like you get a freebie for messing up, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why the other side of messing up is like digging the hole deeper.
Yeah.
It's like got to be something in the sunken cost fallacy
I think it's something
idea.
like that. Yeah. And just being like, I'll start over tomorrow, and then maybe feeling like it's my last day to enjoy anything.
Right.
Because I did so bad, I have to like reset tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or something. But then I would just do that constantly. Like, it got so bad, and I don't think my mom, she either didn't really fully understand that was happening, or, I mean, I think she also has her own problems with like eating stuff. So I think maybe she was like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I do that too.
She's a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all
She's
have
becoming a lady.
something. But so I would fail with my Weight Watchers points, and then I'd overeat. And then the next day I would either not eat like for as long as I could, because I was like, I really fucked up last night. I really fucked up. And I'd be like so ashamed. And
I'm buying back points.
Yeah, and that whole day I'm like, God, I gotta balance it all out now. And you're just like looking at your body the whole day, and you're like, man, and you're like imagining where all the cupcakes went.
Yes,
that was like a constant like imagery.
You have that joke about the grapes? It's like that's the cupcakes.
Yeah. So I would either not eat the whole day, or I would just like exercise like crazy and like try and compensate in that way. And what's crazy is I never, at the time this was happening, I never identified as someone that had an eating disorder. It's weird. Sounds weird to say it as identified as because of.
Right.
I identify as anorexic. But I never felt like that's what I was doing. Right. Because I would be like, well, I'm not that skinny. Like, if anything, I felt like I mean, this is part of the disorder, though. If I thought I wasn't skinny.
Exactly.
So I was like, so I'm not anorexic because I'm not that skinny. And also I'd be like, you're not anorexic because you overeat.
Right.
But that was only sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, you're not bulimic because you don't throw up, even though I tried.
You just couldn't hack
get
it.
myself to do it. It was just too gross. I could never make it happen. So I'd convince myself like I wasn't really a person that had an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Because at that time, the way people would present it to you was very simplified like that. Like you're anorexic or you're bulimic. And you look a certain way, right?
Yeah, for either one.
Yeah. And then this went on for so long, and like I was just like a drag at lunches and dinners because I was like, I can't eat anything. And I'd like bring my like horrible, like nothing lunches, and my friends were probably worried about me, but they're young. They don't know.
I know.
What any of this is.
Too big of a concept.
Yeah. And I didn't realize I had an eating disorder for real until I went to college. And I was in a psychology class. Abnormal psychology was the one. You know, it's all about mental illness and stuff.
Yeah,
And there was a chapter on eating disorders. and it had the 2 regular categories I knew of, anorexia, bulimia, and then they had a section on like mixed, and they call it like compensatory, right? And I read that and I was like, what? It's like so obvious, but it took me reading it in a psychology textbook to be like, that's what I did.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you needed this like very literal, like you needed to read it in black and white.
I needed to see it exactly the way I did it.
Yeah.
And for it to come from an authority.
For sure.
The university.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right.
As a scholar, I believe you have an eating disorder.
Yeah. Like if they put that on the test, I would have to be like, yeah, I have it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know what it is.
Yeah. How would you diagnose this woman with these behaviors? This adolescent with these behaviors?
Yeah. So I remember reading that and then just feeling like my mind was just blown.
Yeah.
And then I was like looking back on everything I did and I was like, oh, that's what that was. And that was me doing that. And I did this the entire high school
you
time.
said when you were 13.
Part of my middle school. I think just the ideas started in middle school. And then probably by the first year of high school, I was like kind of doing it already.
And high school is when you kind of start to have like a little bit more independent freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember high school was when it was like, you know, if figure out what you're doing for lunch. If you need money for lunch, you have to come to me and ask for it. Like, there's just like a little bit more like independence. Like you start having friends that'll drive you to hang out instead of having your mom take you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that like when like the seeds are planted, when the idea of it is in middle school, it's just like all of a sudden why is it when we have independence, like the first thing we do is just like completely self-destructive behaviors?
I just like neglected myself for so long.
Yeah.
Because I could. Because I was like, this is how I want to. And I thought I was being healthy.
Yeah.
I always.
And media would tell you such at the time, like the 90s and early 2000s. That was all. I mean, it goes back even further than that with diet culture. But, I mean, we are from the era of Jumbo Jessica Simpson.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I know.
Which was just
crazy.
Awful. I know.
Yeah. And I was reading magazines all the time. And it was only to look at other people's bodies. Yeah. And to be like, oh, I'm still not good enough.
I remember in middle school seeing, like, I forget what magazine, maybe like Teen People or something, or Teen Vogue. Yeah. And there is this photo of Misha Barton from the OC.
The OC. She was
very thin. Was like, it was like if she stood a certain way, it was like she would disappear on the page. And I just remember seeing like she was wearing this like cool outfit and just having the thought of like, I could never wear that. Oh yeah. I know. Just like,
oh man,
so much fashion that I felt like I couldn't participate in. I know.
And I would go shopping with my mom and I like would be so excited to get new clothes, and then I'd get in the fitting room and I would just cry. Yeah. And then me and my mom would be I remember like being in the car with her on the way home, and I just was like bawling. Because I just felt like I couldn't fit into the clothes in the way I wanted to. Yeah. And then it was like all that mattered to me. I honestly, like, I don't know how I got good grades in school because I feel like this is all I thought about for so long. Yeah. It was just like such a distraction. Can I tell you a couple things I remembered?
Please.
About this period? Well, it's some pre-post, but so... This is actually, I'm trying to work this into a bit. I don't really have it worked out yet. But I think about this when I think about my eating disorder. Like, I think a lot of the reason a lot of people have things happen like this, it's like emotional regulation issues, right? Yep. And I don't know exactly what was going on with me as a kid, where this was like, it was like a distraction kind of, and a way to control things and whatever. I don't know exactly what's going on with me, but I think I've used this tool since I was young, like maybe 8 at least, because I have this one memory where I used to watch The Lion King every day after school. So it must have been around 8, right? Yeah. And I loved that movie. But it would get to the part where Scar kills Mufasa. And I could not handle seeing that. Like, the sadness was too much for me. So every time that scene came on, I would go to the kitchen and I would go into the pantry and hide, and I'd eat marshmallows like the entire time. I would do that for
my
like 5
God.
minutes or however long the scene was.
Yeah.
Just stuffing my face.
Yeah.
And then I'd come back out and act like nothing happened. And I think that's just like a hilarious, like, oh, I couldn't handle my emotions. I went and ate a bunch of sweets.
Yeah. No, that's textbook.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
legitimately you wanted to avoid the traumatic or whatever, the emotional episode.
Yeah.
And so you just completely disassociated with the
Yeah.
bag of marshmallows.
As a child.
It's
So weird.
It's like crazy and like, God, it's so annoying, the survival mechanisms that kick in when like, even when you live in a healthy environment, but it's just like you as a child was like Disney was too much for you.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you develop this coping mechanism that's like insane.
Yeah.
And you would do it every day and it
Yeah.
just becomes part of your life.
Uh-huh. And then it just, I guess, made sense to me later when I started dieting.
Right.
Like, I was an emotional teen. I was probably using it all the time for that reason, not realizing it. Like, binging and not noticing that maybe I was anxious or maybe there was
Yeah.
something going on that I should be thinking about instead of ignoring everything like I always do.
No, I know. I've always been somebody that goes to food when I'm anxious and scared. I'm not like I'm so anxious I can't eat. I'm like, I'm so anxious. Like I need a snack because I feel like I'm jumping out of my body.
Yeah, totally. And it works.
Oh yeah.
At least for the moment. It's like,
Well, yeah,
I have this to do
100%.
now.
That's so funny that you did that as like as a 8-year-old.
I know,
or a kid.
it's crazy. And so
Damn.
the post part of it is, and this is I'm trying to work this into a bit somehow. Like I want to connect the Lion King thing to this, but another thing I think is funny and also sad is like, I like to think that I worked on my eating disorder and that's why it like throughout college it kind of went away and things got a lot better and I wasn't really thinking I wasn't so like obsessed about stuff like that anymore. And I like to think I like worked on myself and kind of fixed it, but I just started drinking. That's all it was.
Transfer
I just
addiction.
completely replaced my eating problem with like drinking every night in college.
Yep.
So I think that's funny too. Like I didn't think about that until recently where I was like, why did that go away? And I was like, oh, it didn't go away. I got a new thing.
Dude, I'm sitting here like having a realization like as you're talking. I'm like, because like when you were in college and like drinking a lot, which like totally relate.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about your body still?
I still was, but I think instead of my go-to being like, I'm going to eat and then freak out about my eating and all that.
Yes.
I think my go-to was now I'm going to drink.
Yes.
And so the body stuff was still there, but it wasn't as prominent.
Yeah.
And all I cared about was getting drunk and escaping my emotions.
Oh yeah.
And, still
Totally.
happens, but not as bad.
Yeah. Completely.
It's just so funny. Like, I think I healed, and it's like, I didn't heal at that time.
Totally.
You know?
I mean, you didn't even know you were sick, really.
No, I had
Yeah.
just figured that out, and then I started drinking.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're reading something in your abnormal psych class about binge drinking. You're like, I don't have that.
Yeah. I don't have that because I don't remember how many drinks I had.
I don't remember feeling bad, so it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's great. You're very it feels like you've been able to like work through it a bit because you're having these realizations, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually was going to ask you like, this kind of was something that followed you through middle school. Through high school. And I was going to ask you about college, but then you just said how it moved over kind of to drinking. Did it come back into your purview like after college when you were living out on your own as like an adult?
I think throughout college and grad school, I just had both things actually. But yeah, so I think I was drinking too much, and from time to time I would fall back into the eating patterns, but it wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
Like it's still, I don't know, it seemed more manageable. I don't really actually know how it went away.
Yeah.
I do know that I started eating like way healthier like most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably what made it go away, is that I started just being like, well, you eat healthy all the time. And so when you eat a thing that's unhealthy, it just doesn't matter. I started to be convinced maybe by that
Right.
over time.
Right.
I don't know.
Because you're like, okay, like 90% of the time I'm
Yeah.
eating healthy. So like this 10%
Yeah.
or 5%, whatever it is.
Oh, and when I started eating so much healthier, I also told myself, you get to eat as much of this as you want, because this is all basically vegetables
Yeah.
with some sauce or whatever.
Well, I mean, just to get there is pretty evolved for someone that has an eating disorder where you're trying to be restrictive.
Yeah. And I think that worked, because then I never felt guilty anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When I would eat a lot, I would be like, it doesn't count, because you need these things.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's all good.
It's just so funny to be like, this doesn't count when it's like you are eating calories.
It doesn't
You're
count
just like,
to just be a normal.
Yeah. It doesn't count to just, when you say it doesn't count, what you really are saying is like, there's no consequences of this.
Yes. Instead of treating every single meal like, oh, I'm about to do something bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing something bad now. Like, I could not enjoy anything.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
I had a guest on, I forget who it was, but she was telling me that they call food the good girl drug. Because it's like you're doing something bad.
Yeah.
Like you're not normally bad, but with food, you're being bad,
Mhm.
you know?
That's funny.
The good girl drug.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I hate how much I resonate with that.
Yeah. It is a drug.
Yeah. And so you getting to that place of, it's so interesting that even when you got to a place with food where it's like, okay, this wasn't bad, but you can have as much as you want. It's like, do you think you were still binging a little bit, or were you just satiating?
Maybe in the beginning it felt a little bingey because I was still in those patterns. It's hard to
Yeah.
remember. I'm kind of just making assumptions right now.
Right. Because you're so
Yeah,
out of
maybe
it.
I was still overeating because I had that pattern, but I didn't have as much guilt because of what I was eating.
Right.
And so maybe just over time, it just kind of became
Yeah.
like, I don't even think about the amount. I don't feel like I have to overeat. I'm just like
Right.
eating my vegetable chili
Yeah.
in a normal way, finally.
And from what you're describing, it sounds like a lot of your disordered eating was centered around restriction, with then of course like this fallout and binge.
Mm-hmm.
Were there ever, besides tracking Weight Watcher points, were there other diets like that you tried, like keto or, I don't know, name a crazy diet?
Well, I feel like Weight Watchers was the main one I
Like
got
a
really
diet
into.
plan.
And I remember like even when I stopped doing it, I had memorized the calories and everything and the points associated with everything. So it was like impossible to not know.
I still mentally calculate.
I still know
Yeah.
basically what it is. Like I could estimate easily.
Oh yeah.
And
Like a calorie Rain Man.
yeah. It's wild. Actually, one of my roommates, the bad roommate you've probably heard about, this is like ages ago.
Yeah.
Sharon, I'll use her name. She was horrible to me. I keep running into her, actually. It's weird.
No way.
Yeah. She still lives in my neighborhood. Oh my God. This is funny. So she is like, wait, let me tell you about her stuff first. The reason I brought her up is because when I first moved to New York, maybe a year in, I was living with her for a couple of years. And it was awful, but I was always busy, so I wasn't around her enough for me to be like, I have to leave. But then the pandemic hit, and it was all the time. And she definitely had some kind of eating disorder. Like, she looked like it, and I feel like the meals I'd see her eat, I was like, you're not eating.
Yeah.
And I would come home, and she would be, like, telling me the number of calories in a Sprout and stuff. And I was like, I was over it enough that it didn't like affect me too much.
Right.
But I was like, you cannot draw me back into this kind of thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like terrible for me. If I was like entertaining this conversation,
Yeah.
that would be like a bad sign.
It's like thankfully you were at a place where like you were far enough removed from it, but you were so that you were able to identify that this is like unhealthy. Like this is an unhealthy road for me to go down.
Very.
Yeah.
I would like get a milkshake, and one time I got a milkshake and a burger from Checkers one night when I was like on my way home drunk, of course. And she like, I guess I didn't finish my milkshake and it was in the freezer. And the next morning, she like commented on how I got a milkshake, and I was like, Jesus, like,
all right, woo woo, the food police are here.
Also, a reminder of like, I mean, I love my family, but they were not helpful when I was going through this, and they would make comments that were like, you know, made me feel ashamed, and not that I felt ashamed when Sharon said the milkshake thing, but when someone says that to you and you're like struggling, with the thing. It's like, oh, they see that I messed up.
Yes.
It is bad to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
And I am a horrible person. Yeah. I can't control myself.
That's their rude comment snowballs into that.
Yes.
For you.
And then I get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents would notice. They would like mention like, oh, we heard you like up in the cupboards all last night. And I think they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But the way it came out was not good for me.
No, totally.
Yeah.
I know. And like sometimes they're just like parents or something will just like make a comment or a joke about something like that because it's like you said, like they didn't know what to do or like they wanted to like let you know that they know or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just so like, all right, time to go wallow in shame.
Yeah, I know. And then do it again tonight.
Yeah.
Do it again every night.
God, I would be like, it is so valid that like you felt embarrassment or shame or whatever from like a roommate of all people. Like, you know, it's someone that you cohabitate with that you're just kind of like whatever about
Well, you know, it gets worse. My ex, the really bad one.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've told you everything about him, and I can tell you anytime after the pod, but I'll just focus on this part. He would like criticize my body.
Bastard.
Which is, and I told him like at some point early on when we started dating that I had these problems in the past.
Yeah.
And he would say stuff to me all the time. Like, I remember maybe a few months in, there were so many red flags. Like, I definitely should not have kept dating this guy, but it was one of those toxic relationships, and you don't know how bad it is because you're in it, blah, blah, blah. Just doing this as like a disclaimer for why
I'm not a dumb bitch
why
anymore.
I put up with this for so long. But he would, I remember a few months in, we were like out drinking, and me and him had been going out a lot because we just started dating, you know, and it was like new and fun. And I was drinking a lot of beer, and I gained a little weight. And like at that point, I did not care. I was okay with fluctuating weight. I was like, this is just what happens. You have to be okay with this. Yeah. And I remember him being like, I was like, I'm going to get another beer. And then he's like, oh. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, you're just drinking a lot of beer, you know? And then he like looked down at my body and basically was saying like, you're gaining weight.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
How did you react?
I think I got mad at him that night, but then over time, he said so many things like that, and it just became normal, and it became, because the relationship was like basically like emotionally abusive. Yeah. I just thought I was a problem all the time. Right. And so actually, I do think I had body issues in that relationship because it was just pointed out so much. Like it was very highlighted. Yeah. Okay. We were engaged, which is crazy.
I always forget that.
Check this out. So we had been on a road trip for like a month and a half. And that was another time where I was like, okay, I'm going to be in a car for a month and a half. I'm going to gain some weight. I need to not care about this. Yeah. So I mentally prepared myself for that. And I was like, you cannot get into this bad cycle just because you're putting on some pounds. Like, I was like, it does not matter. You're ready for this. I guess that's how it's still there, is I still have to sometimes
coach yourself.
Remind myself like of how I want to handle these things. Yeah. And it's not just natural. But anyway, I did gain weight on the trip. Month and a half sitting in a car. Yeah. Just eating, not exercising.
Gas station food.
Yeah. And he proposed sometime at the end of that trip. it's supposed to be so romantic, right? And then the next day he goes, "Hey, so are you going to like stay fat?"
Oh my God.
Isn't that the most
Brittany.
horrible thing you've ever heard? The day after, and we're still in like this like cabin that he'd rented for our like weekend away where he was gonna propose
for your
to me.
engagement weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my
Again though,
God.
I barely even thought about it because I had put up with so much of this.
Right.
That I was just like, it just didn't mean anything to me anymore.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm getting married. Of course I'm gonna lose weight.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I think that was
God, dude,
I mean,
that
he was
sucks.
terrible for me in every way, but
Yeah.
definitely that part. And it just made me so mad because I had told him, like, this is something I struggle with.
Yeah.
And when you tell me things like this, it's like, yeah, I'm already thinking that in some way.
Yeah, I already know.
Yeah.
I know. I already get it. Yeah. Don't worry. I was already thinking about it.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of what we were talking about at the top of the pod of just like, am I walking a weird way around the office? It's like, I'm already thinking about my body and now you're calling out like, and just,
Yeah.
just so crass too,
I know.
to be like, like, or what do you say? Are you going to stay
Are you going to stay fat?
Like,
so are you going to stay fat?
oh, how long were you engaged for?
Only 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you?
Well, it's such a long story, but the relationship was horrible, blah, blah, blah. Are you asking how I got out of it?
Yeah. Like, how did you, cause like, I'd be afraid to get out of an engagement. Like, it's like, I feel like when you're, I don't know if you like posted about it, but it's like everybody knows we're engaged, and now I'm deciding like people are gonna have questions, people are gonna judge
Yeah.
me.
I
It's a lot.
actually don't remember worrying that much about that once I did it.
You were in such hell that you were happy to be out of it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, there were so many times I knew I needed to get out of it. Like there'd be this window where I'd be like, "Oh, this is really bad,"
Yeah.
and I need to do something. And I had broken up with him before, but then
Yeah.
got back together because it was always like, "Oh, I'm gonna be better," and I understand like what the problem is, and
Yeah.
I would tell him like what was happening, and he'd be like, "I get that, like I don't want to hurt you, blah blah blah," and then things would be good for like 3 days, and then it would just fall apart again, like
Yeah.
over and over. And so I think how I finally got out of it was because, so he's from New Zealand, which is where I met him, and I had just moved to New York, and he was with me when we did the road trip, right?
Yeah.
And then we got engaged. But he had to go back to New Zealand for like 4 months to finish up some work contracts and stuff and like figure out all his house stuff. And so I was in New York alone for 4 months. And I just visited him once, like in that period, right?
Yeah.
And I remember during that 4 months, I started to just feel like myself was coming back. Not in a way I think I knew explicitly at the time, but I
Yes.
just felt better. And then I went to go see him, and I was so excited because I hadn't seen him in months, and that's like the longest we'd ever been apart. And I was just going to be there for 2 weeks. I show up. The first couple days are incredible. Like the part of our relationship that I got stuck on and
Yeah.
like always would be like,
Limerence
that's the real
phase.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then day or two in, horrible. And so I think being out of it for those 4 months and then going into it, I was like, oh, I can see exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Those 2 weeks just like represented our entire relationship.
Yeah.
And I was finally getting perspective on it, like in a way that stuck with me more. Like this had happened so many times in my own mind, but I would dismiss it. Or I talk to friends and they're telling me what they think, and I would be like, well, you don't know what's going on.
I know it's so fruitless when a friend is trying to, talk you out of a relationship or point out things about a relationship, because when it's like getting help for addiction or an eating disorder,
Yeah.
even like you need to come to that, you need to hit that
Yeah.
place of wanting to accept it.
Yeah, you kind of have to find it yourself in a way,
Yeah.
and then be like, oh, I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that was it. And I did have a lot of my friends had a lot of trouble with me staying with him, which I totally get now. And so there were a few of them that I could no longer talk to about any of this, which did suck, but I get why they were unable to do that. But I had one friend who had been in a similar thing before, and she was always there. And at this time too, she lived in New Zealand, so I was visiting with her. And I feel like if she wasn't around, I might have still, like, I think I needed the combination of me seeing it for myself because of that break and then going right in and being like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it being me being like, this is terrible, plus a friend who was always like ready for me to get there.
Yeah.
But she was never pushing me to do it, even though I think she was just like, this needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also get the friends that you mentioned. You had friends that like you couldn't go to and talk to about it. I had gotten there with a friend once where I was like, you're not allowed to talk about this person to me because this person is so bad for you that it's like a cancer.
Yeah.
And I can't sit here and have you talk about a cancer that you're not going to treatment for.
Exactly. Yes.
What do you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
I hate this person. And
you're calling me and crying every day and you're not doing anything. And it's like,
yeah. And I'm so happy that there was that friend that still had the window open for you to go over and talk to.
Yeah.
So did you end the engagement at the end of that 2 weeks or did you go back to New York? Good for you.
I did.
You knew.
We were still together, but I was like, we're not ready to get married. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't really know if I could go the whole way and be like, it's over. But I knew, I was like, we're not getting married. Like, this has been horrible. And that gave me time, I think, to kind of be like, okay, I got to end it. But, okay, so this is not about eating disorders anymore. But
this is about life circumstances.
It is, though, because this relationship has the same addictive properties as some of the other addictions we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Right? And there's like these huge cycles.
Yeah.
And then there's moments of like where things are great. It's either the high of eating or like the time when I'm like, oh, I look so skinny now.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the low of like, I fucked it up.
Yeah,
like you even have those moments in shitty relationships.
And it's all my fault.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying? Sorry.
You were going to bring up, you said this isn't about eating disorders. I felt like you were going to tell a story about maybe the breakup or the relationship.
Oh, I just think this is hilarious. And I just realized this a couple weeks ago too.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to write a solo show about this relationship partly.
Yeah.
But so I had all these friends, right? Like I already said this, where they were like telling me for years, like, this is bad. You need to like get out of this, blah, blah, blah. And I would not listen to it. And then this ex, man, I just feel like you're never going to get as much information as I feel like is needed to understand. But so at the time we were still together, he started kind of getting into the manosphere stuff.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And not even just that. Also becoming like an extreme conspiracy theorist.
I feel like this is like early on, right? This was in what, like the 2010s you're talking about this?
No, this engagement was like 2018 or 17.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's right before I came to New York.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I probably met you in like 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So
so I've been talking about this for a long time.
No. Because I forget that like the manosphere and stuff kind of started around like 2016, like Trump time.
Yeah.
You know, so what I was trying to say was that he was like an early adopter of it, but
Oh,
like
I see.
kind of like in the thick of it. Yeah. So anyways, keep going.
So he started,
yeah.
Suddenly he was this completely different guy
Yeah.
too. And like, that was confusing because I was like, I thought I knew you and you weren't like this. And I thought when we talked about this stuff, it was like a bit. Like that's how our relationship started sometimes, would be like making fun of some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was very confused by that. And I kept being like, well, that's not the real him. Like that was always my excuse. I was like, that's not him though. Mm-hmm. Even though he's behaving terribly and treating me terribly. And it's been going on for 80% of the time. That's not him. Well, 95% of the time. Let's see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was getting into all this stuff. Even Alex Jones. Which we used to watch him for fun.
Right. We used to make fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also deciding now 9/11's an inside job.
Yeah.
Suddenly. To the point, too, where he wanted like I didn't agree, and he would be mad that I wouldn't agree with his reasoning, like with the stuff he's showing me, because I get really into why people believe these things. So I've watched every conspiracy documentary.
Oh, he definitely showed
about
you
9/11.
He 100% showed you Zeitgeist.
Yes. I'm like, already saw it.
Raise your hand if you dated a man obsessed with Zeitgeist.
So anyway, he's like, well, I think we should have a debate where you're on this side. It was just crazy. So I'm just showing you this to show how much he changed and how our arguments became about things like this, and it was just like ridiculous. But he also started he read Jordan Peterson's book, of course, 12 Steps for Life. I think that's what it's called. And he would not stop talking about this book. Oh. And he basically was forcing me to read it. And I hadn't read it yet. He was like, well, read the book. You gotta read the book. You gotta know about the lobsters and the rats.
Oh my God.
And the reason I bring this up is because on the plane ride home, after I left New Zealand and told him we're not ready to get married, wasn't sure yet what I was going to do. But at that point, I was still like, well, we're still together and we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
On the plane, I'm like, all right, I'll read Jordan Peterson's book. I read it on the plane, and I get to this chapter that's like speaking your truth. It's basically like standing up for yourself, advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
Not hiding behind like fear because you have to tell someone something hard or do something difficult or whatever. Right? I'm reading that chapter, and this is all stuff my friends have been telling me for years. They've been trying to get through to me. I'm reading that chapter. Suddenly when it's Jordan Peterson, I'm like, oh, okay. It's like the guy who's like, the rat got this. And I'm like, man, this is making a lot of sense. I got to dump my terrible boyfriend. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. He didn't know that his poison would be your cure.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would have done it anyway, but it just sped it up.
Yeah.
And it happened on the plane from the guy that was like his god at the time.
Yeah. Hey, dummy, I read your book that you recommended. I'm breaking up with you.
It says, break up with him.
Yeah. If someone's treating you badly, get them out of your life or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Whoa,
that's crazy.
So I landed, and then I broke up with him. Maybe like that night or the next morning or something.
Fully broke up.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I did say it was over or whatever, and then God, it's just crazy how long this kept going. But
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. I said it was over. I meant it. I was like, it's done. And then he called and he's like, wow, and and then I basically was like, he wanted to come over here and show me that everything was going to be okay. I'm going to come over on a 3-month visa. He's like, I'll show you. It'll be fine. Yeah. And I didn't believe it. And I said, well, for now, I need at least like a 2-month break. Like, I don't think we should talk. Like, I need to figure out how I feel about everything. And I was like, right now, we're not together. And we'll talk later. And over those 2 months, I knew that it was not going to work. But there was a part of me that was like, what if it does work?
Of course.
And I was like, I think I need to see one more time. Otherwise, I might regret it.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I actually needed to, but I think I was worried that I would never stop thinking about this possibility if I didn't give it one more shot. And he kept begging to come over. He didn't really respect my boundary when I said I don't want to talk for 2 months. Of course. So he came over. First week, great.
Yeah.
Immediately, terrible again. I had also just started a job here, the job I have now.
Yeah.
And I was brand new to comedy here.
Yep.
I was probably only a few months in. So every single space in my life was like the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
Like my job was so hard, just like adjusting to that. Comedy, you're just bombing every night at an open mic. Yeah, in front of people looking at their phones and stuff. And then I would go home to my place that's supposed to be like safety and comfort. And I would be like walking up the steps and I'd be like, I can't go in there.
Oh,
and then I would get home and have to deal with this like super insecure, critical man.
I'm sure he hated that you did comedy.
Oh my God, he hated it.
I would
come home and he'd be like, mad if he discovered that I talked to men. And it's like, yeah, it's all
This is
men.
never gonna work.
When you first start, there's no women.
Yeah.
There's one other woman.
Right.
And so, yeah, he'd be very jealous about that. He was always like, if I was getting messages, if it was like comedy bookings or something, not that happened at all early on, but if it was anything, anyone messaging me and it was comedy, he'd be freaking out either because it's a guy or because that means my time's not going to be spent with him.
Right.
It became very much like, oh, comedy takes away from you attending to me.
Right.
At one point, he told me you can only do this 3 times a week.
Oh my God.
And yeah, there's so much more than that.
I'm surprised he even gave you 3.
I know that actually sounds like a lot from him now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So it's like the way that, the way that the things in your life came together. It's like, thankfully you found something in comedy that was really hard, but you were willing to put the work into, and knowing that this fucker was just going to impede your success in trying to achieve something.
Yeah.
Damn.
God, he was not supportive either. Like, I remember very early on, this is when I lived in New Zealand, and that's where I started comedy. So I did it for like 2 years there. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't good, but there was nobody in the scene. Right. It was like 5 people. Yeah. So you start getting things that I otherwise would not have got.
Right.
Like, they started letting me do like 20 to 30 minute sets within like a few months.
That's
like,
so
what,
funny.
What was I saying?
Yeah. You're just
I did not have anything to say.
You're just yapping. You're just chatting up there.
I
do that now.
I have no idea what I thought I was talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I had done like a fringe festival like a year in or something. And that's like a 30-minute thing. And I was so nervous, and I did it it was like a co-headlining thing. Yeah. Crazy. Probably just like a terrible show. But we did get a write-up. Someone came out and wrote about it.
Amazing.
Like a theater review guy or something. Yeah. And our review was really good. And I was so excited. It's my first festival. I just started doing stand-up. Yeah. This is like what I want. And my ex knew that. Like, when we met, I told him I wanted to move to New York. Right. And I tell him about this review, and he doesn't say anything. And then he gets all like distant and like grumpy. And that's how he was about anytime anything went well for me in comedy. Or in any part of my life, really.
In anything, really.
I stopped even telling him when things were going well, because I was like, he's going to get mad at me that I had a joke that worked.
Right. Oh, and it's like, it feels so bad when you tell someone that, like, even someone you have like a crush on or a situationship, never mind this person you're supposed to love and they're supposed to love you. It's like being rejected by like a parent's love or something. Yeah. When you tell someone something that you're excited about and they just take the wind out of your sails, or they get mad. It's like,
they get mad, or they do nothing, or they dismiss it somehow.
Make you feel dumb for being excited about it.
Like, whatever it is, it's like, just say that's great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
And then, like, when you are in a relationship where when you tell someone something good and they're like, that's great. You're just like, I'm surprised by you reacting so, like,
I know,
lovingly towards my thing.
I know. It's crazy. So my boyfriend, Dwayne, you know him.
Yes.
He's great. He's nothing like my ex. But when I first started dating him, I had so many remnants of my ex in my mind that I was like scared. You bring it with you to a different relationship, like you're saying, and I would expect him to respond terribly to certain things. Yeah. And then I'd be like waiting and scared. I'd say something and I'd be like, oh no.
Bracing for impact.
Is he mad I had a good set tonight?
Yeah.
And of course he never did. But for the first 6 months, I was like constantly like, oh, yeah. Like I was like an abused dog, you know? Yeah. Like I'm like flinching.
Yeah. It's like if he puts his hand up, you're like, he's like, I'm not going to hit you. Relax.
And I'm like, oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Normal.
Really?
I am normal. I can accept. Yes. Normal. Yeah.
So you've had similar bad relationships like that?
Yeah. I mean, just like men that were like, just like, I wasn't in like committed relationships with these people, but like,
nice.
Yeah, not my decision. But yeah, just like anything, it's like just the insecure man that can't handle a female
Yeah.
getting something good. And then like, you know, what you're saying about like, you know, him being in the manosphere, like that really is like, oh, you just like don't think that women are people that should have these kind of accolades. And the accolade being a joke worked well.
Or that or anything.
Yeah.
I remember one time he got upset because the doorknob was broken and I fixed it.
Oh my gosh.
All it takes, it's a screwdriver.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I'm capable.
He was mad because it was like I was taking away his, like he
His
wanted to
thing.
like feel like he could care for me or something.
Yeah.
In like this masculine, feminine, like structured way. And so he was like upset that I just took care of it myself.
Oh my gosh. And like, not to make assumptions about this guy, but it's like, I fixed it myself because you may have taken a week to do it.
Yeah.
When like, I just wanted to get it done.
Yeah. Also, I like doing stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah.
That's so easy, but it does make me feel good that I can just do that.
I love being a handy girly.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. Like, if there's a leak under the sink, like, I'll fix it. Like, I'm the handyman
I'm
around
always
here.
fixing my toilet.
Oh, always. Yeah.
Actually,
And
not my current one because it has a weird flush, but yeah.
you gotta respect the flush,
Yeah.
man.
Mine has like an industrial foot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, you got out. You're on the other side of it, and
Yeah.
you know it feels like you didn't let like these different things that make up the stories of your past. Like, you know, you're not a victim about anything.
No. I mean, I played such a big role in that relationship. Like I learned so much. Like,
Yeah.
man, it was crazy when I got out of it. That's the first time I started going to therapy because I was like, I can't let this happen again.
Yeah.
And I never thought I was the kind of person that would allow this kind of treatment.
Yeah.
So I learned like so much and I was like, oh, I didn't realize I have all these terrible thoughts about myself. And that's why when he would say and do these things, it was hard to reject it because I was like, yeah, that's how I feel.
Right.
And so I contributed by not having worked on those parts of myself.
Right.
Not being like strong in that way to be like, no, I deserve so much better. I value myself, blah, blah, blah. And I just wasn't at the time.
And it's strange why, like, I don't know how do we become people that like have bad thoughts about ourselves? And like, how do you end up dating somebody that validates the bad things that you didn't even realize you thought about yourself?
And you
It's like,
mistake it
how?
as love.
Yes.
Because you're like, he really sees
He
me.
sees me.
Because I hate myself too.
Right. Right. It
It's
makes
crazy.
sense. Since I hate myself, I'd find someone that also hates
Yeah.
me.
And I do remember I had a really good relationship before that guy. And I think that I was too young to understand any of
Yeah.
this. But I remember he was great. He was like an angel and we just got along great. He was a wonderful person. And I remember at some point just being like, I feel like there's something missing. Like there's something wrong with our connection. Even though he was great, I was like, we're never going to have this thing that I feel like
Yeah.
is that I know is there, but I don't have it with this person.
Right.
And now when I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's what was missing. I didn't feel as connected to him because he didn't see me in the shitty way I saw myself.
Yeah.
And then I met this other guy and I was like, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
But then that's the way he was treating me, reflecting the bad parts of the way I thought about myself, was just like making me fall apart.
Yeah.
And it felt like love, but it was just really like both of us mistreating me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And now it's like, sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Please. No,
Okay.
you're the guest.
I think coming out of the bad relationship, it was so scary to try and date again after that.
Yeah.
I was so afraid that I would accidentally end up doing that to myself again
Yeah.
because I wasn't ready. Like I hadn't worked on myself enough to be like, what I'm going to reflect in someone is going to be that again. Oh no.
Right.
And then I'm just going to be in the same cycle. And now I do feel, I definitely have negative thoughts about myself still. I think they're always going to be there. Just like the eating disorder thoughts are like always, there's always a little bit there.
Yeah.
But I, just like with the eating disorder thing, they're so much smaller now that I think like, now I feel confident that if I meet someone, I'm not going to, if they treat me bad, I'm not going to be like, yeah,
Right.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
I'm going to be
well-
like, what?
Yes.
Yeah, I felt that way before, but I don't.
Well, yeah, because people are mirrors.
Yeah.
They reflect back to you. And so you being a healed, more evolved, in a more evolved emotional state around like how you feel about yourself and identifying the more unhealthy patterns that you've had in your life, like when someone is reflecting back something that's they're mistreating you,
Yeah.
you can now identify it as like, you're mistreating me, and I
Yes.
know like this isn't validating anything for me other than like I know I deserve better.
Yeah. It's not going to work anymore because there's no match.
Yeah. So it's like, thank goodness you got into therapy after that
Oh my
relationship.
God, same. Because
you
I think
know?
otherwise it would have been right into another
100%
thing like that.
Oh, I know.
Like thinking it was better, but it's just another version of it.
it's just a snake eating
You
its
know?
tail.
Yeah.
Just not getting out of it.
Because that's the other thing I noticed too, I guess over the last 7 years or so, like with therapy and with dating and meeting different people and seeing how different people treat me. Like I was in an abusive relationship emotionally. It was never physical, right?
Yeah.
With that guy. But there are other versions of relationships that aren't necessarily abusive, but they can still create a dynamic that leads to similar like loss of self
100%.
and similar like terrible thinking about yourself and feeling like kind of trapped and controlled. And it can be a relationship where both people are great and neither are like really intentionally treating each other badly, but because of their own maybe shit that they haven't worked on,
Yeah.
they end up in this dynamic where now it's happening even though it's not abuse. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
I feel like that. Have you seen that show Love on Netflix?
No, but I've heard it's good.
That's what that makes me like. I think of like what I just said is I
Yeah.
think in that where
Okay.
they both just have stuff.
Yeah.
Neither of them is bad, but together their relationship is like clearly like toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that when like if you have a relationship where one of you, let's say, is in therapy and like really doing the work on yourself, like really doing like unpacking what's in the shadows to see what is, why do I have these horrible thoughts about myself? Why do I mistreat myself? And you start to move past that. I think that like when you're in a relationship with somebody that's maybe they don't need to do the same kind of healing, but like everybody has stuff. Everybody has baggage. And so if like you're in a partnership with someone that's not kind of like fulfilling their end of the unspoken bargain of like, if I'm bettering myself, if I'm
Yeah.
evolving in different ways, I need you to evolve as well.
Yeah.
And then it can, that's exactly what I thought of with what you were, so wonderfully describing of just like, it doesn't have to be physical abuse. It doesn't have to be verbal abuse or emotional or mental. It can be that the way that you are cohabitating together is not, there's neglect that can be happening because of just being on different levels.
Yeah. Like, here's an example. Maybe your partner is so anxious and insecure that you spend all your time helping them feel better, right?
Yeah.
And that is like obviously a part of a relationship is that you want to help reassure your partner when they need it and stuff like that. But if it's like every single day, like every moment and nothing, you can't have your own life because you're constantly like working to make sure they're okay, then it's like that's the same outcome basically.
Yeah,
it's like you don't
should
have energy for yourself, you're neglecting yourself, you're mistreating yourself.
You should never be sacrificing parts of yourself for a relationship ever. And if you are in something like that, then you really need to take inventory on like what you're willing to put up with, and sacrifice really is the only word I can think of. Sacrifice of yourself to stay in that relationship. It's
Because it
breakups are
feels
so hard.
It feels like you're doing what's meant to happen.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to see it.
Right.
You're going to be in it being like, yeah, it's a relationship. I like help my partner.
I'm
all
trying
the
to be
time.
a good partner.
Yeah. But then you like, maybe if you get those windows where you come out of it, maybe you can be like, oh, wait, where am I? Like,
Yes.
I do this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's my role now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We've talked for a while.
We have, huh?
Yeah, this was
Oh,
fantastic.
boy.
Yeah. Yeah, great. I could keep going, but we do have to wrap it up. This was so awesome. Thank you so
This
much
was
for
great.
coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I thank you for being so open about everything, and I'm really excited for people to hear this. You are on the precipice of
Ooh.
Greatness.
Yeah.
You have something exciting coming out. Do you want to tell the people what it is and where they can find you?
I am releasing my debut comedy special. It's an hour.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be on my YouTube. I don't know what date yet. I was hoping I had the date before I started
It's okay.
this, but
yeah.
probably within a month and a half. And it's going to be on my YouTube, and my Instagram is Cardwell.
Yes.
So I'll be posting about it there. And I think it's going to be called Waving Back at Trees.
Love. Guys, it's so good. I went to one of the tapings.
Thank
was
you so much for going.
So good. I was like, this girl, like I walked out of the gutter and I was like, this girl has tightened these jokes. Like
Kelly.
it was one of these things where it's like we've been friends for a while, so like I've heard
Yeah.
these, and then all of a sudden there was like and another tag and another tag and another tag, and I was like,
Thank
oh,
God
she
there was
worked
development in there.
hard on this. Like no, like it was like truly inspiring. I was
Thank
like, this
you.
girl is one of the hardest working people I know.
Oh, Kelly.
Yeah,
thank
no,
you.
you really killed with that. Yeah, Brittany Cardwell. Everywhere you can find Brittany will be in the description of the show notes. Go and subscribe to her YouTube so that when the special
Yes.
drops,
You'll see every
you will
clip.
see it. You'll see
Yeah.
the clips. You'll be able to go and stream it. So subscribe so that you get that notification that the
Yes.
special has dropped. We'll also post about it on the Instagram and all that crap. But yeah, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much, Kelly.
Amazing. All right, until next week, we'll talk to you. Bye.